Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another video. Alright, now this is part 2 of pros and cons of living in certain Muslim countries. I'm going to do some specifics for the Arab countries and a little tiny bit for a couple of the Asian countries. And then I would encourage anyone who has an additional say to put your comments down below so that the audience can benefit. You know, you can correct me, you can give updates on whatever I say uh, as relates to, my commentary in the video. Also, for those of you who are viewing that don't know, I'm a Salafi, okay? I'm someone who follows the path of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the Sahaba as relates to belief and methodology. And methodology is relates to how we interact regarding innovation, how we shun it, how we reject it, we fight against it, we warn against it. And nor do we mix with them, nor do we support them. Anybody from the people of innovation, from its various forms. So if you're not Salafi or you're against it, please keep your comments to yourself. And if you don't, I'll just pin them. That's all. I'll pin your comments. All of the hate about Salafiyya and don't be extreme and all that stuff. You go ahead and comment and I'll just pin it. And then you can hash it out in the comment section with the other, you know, the other people of Sunnah. All right. So that being said, yeah, this is from a Salafi's point of view. What's important to us as relates to going to the Muslim lands. So we're gonna start with Saudi. Pros of Saudi Arabia. Of course, I'm not even doing it a justice, but this is just from what I see. From the pros of living in Saudi Arabia, of course, it's the birthplace of our noble messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the establishment of Islam, where the second Hijrah. First Hijrah was to Ethiopia. Second one to Al-Madinah. Excuse me. Right? So the second Hijrah, the first Islamic state in Medina was established. So that's very significant, and you can compare your story and your journey to that of the Sahaba, their condition when they were in Mecca, being under the non-Muslims and being in a state of fighting, holding on. And what I mean is a state of fighting disbelief, rejecting it with their hearts and saying, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one. That's a level of fighting, standing on the truth. And then going to Al-Madinah and being able to practice all of the different pillars of Islam and Iman and actualize them fully with free range and able to grow and flourish. That would be your situation and your condition from leaving the lands of the kuffar. It doesn't matter if they let you pray and fast and you can believe whatever you want as long as it's in a box and it doesn't affect their society. That's what you don't understand. For those who you don't understand that, you're still in a bad situation. But it's just that, the Muslims don't have the upper hand, so that's the only reason why you don't see any friction from them, But if Islam had the upper hand, meaning like the belief of Islam actually got into the minds of the people and it affected the society, and I don't mean jihad and fighting, I don't mean that. I'm talking about getting rid of the muharramat, people being upright morally, where they can't be exploited. Their immoral acts can't be exploited and turned into profit. Yeah, you would see something. You would see something if that happened. If Islam gained the upper hand and the West was actually moralized Islamically. as a whole, government and all. Yeah, you will see a problem. But anyways, pros of Saudi Arabia. That was talking about the birthplace of the Prophet Sallallahu Islam, the second Hijrah, the establishment of the pillars of both Islam, and the rest of the pillars of both Islam and Iman. Because jihad, Salah and jihad and zakat was established after the Hijrah to Al Medina. Only the Shahada was established in in oh yeah, in Hajj. Only the Shahada was established when they were in Mecca, and then Salah was made obligatory. Zakat, of course, fasting Ramadan and Hajj, and of course, and then jihad. Jihad is not a pillar, but of course, it's from the major aspects of Islam, and the teaching of classes openly. They were cultivated. The Sahaba were cultivated openly, and they established the city upon the correct belief and methodology. All right, so another pro is, of course, you have Mecca and Medina, two holy cities, the Haramain, the tremendous reward you get for I'm not going in the park. The tremendous reward you get for praying in both. Of course, there's more reward for the prayer in Mecca at the Kaaba than it is the Haram at the Kaaba than it is for Medina, right? There are Islamic universities you can attend, and countless certificates that you could get in different Islamic disciplines. You know, just in case, like you could get courses. You don't necessarily have to be admitted into the university fully, because some people are older, they can't get a full ride and get into the university like as a full-time student. So, but there are courses and things that you can take in those universities. And so does the Haram. The Haram also has, this is what I was told by Emirati, that there are different courses in the Haram that you can take, from learning language to learning different aspects of belief, different disciplines of the religion, different books that you can go over and you get ijazah. So for anybody who has lived in Mecca and Medina, you know, you can confirm and give any extra details regarding that information. Of course, the major scholars are present to learn from, as well as their students. Hafidhahum Allah. Arabic is everywhere. You will definitely, if you're someone who wants to learn the Arabic language, you will be immersed in it. You don't have to worry about that at all. Strong religious adherence, of course. The people of innovation and falsehood are subdued. There's no deviation in belief allowed to be taught or called to or spread in Saudi Arabia. It's not allowed. The opportunity to learn proper Islamic adab wal akhlaq. Yes, Sheikh Al-Albani said that adab and akhlaq is learned from the Arab. Period. That's what he said. And that's the truth. You have Riyadh, of course, and there's other cities there. You got Jubail, but Riyadh is a metropolitan city known for its business. You know, for those who are business heads, you're professional. You can go to Riyadh and in other cities. I mean, around Saudi Arabia, you're not restricted as long as you have iqama. Even if you don't have iqama, you go on a business trip. If you just want to go there for business, you know. But I'm saying this is for those who want to live there. Iqama is needed for a lot of things. All right, so they have a lot of expos and things there in Jeddah and in Riyadh for businesses. So it's a good way to network and broaden your horizons professionally. And with residency, your small children can be enrolled into the government schools or the private Arabic schools. And these are curriculum schools. They are not like Islamic, even though they're Islamic class is mandatory to be taught. But these are not, Arabic school doesn't mean Islamic schools. All subjects are taught in the Arabic language. Because somebody asked, well, how they going to learn math and how they going to learn science? It's like, huh? Arabic covers all topics, all subjects. But I understand people are ignorant. They don't know. But yeah, science, history, math is all taught in Arabic. Yes. Yes, you have to learn the Arabic numbers, and you learn, you know, you learn addition, you learn subtraction, you learn multiplication, division. They all have their names. You know, my kids went to school, and I was all, mashallah, I was all up in their books. I was all up in their books, learning right with them. The terminology, of course, because I had to help them. Had to help with their homework. All right, so now let's go into the cons of Saudi. Those are the pros that I have. Of course, there are more, and anyone is free to add more pros or cons to this list. Whatever you want to add to the conversation. Cons. Family e-commerce is difficult to get with jobs. They're holding back on those e-commerce because they're doing Saudization. So you might get a contract for yourself, but not necessarily for your children. And then sometimes the employer doesn't want to pay the dependency fees that are now in place for each family member. Some employers will pay it, but those are some of the cons that people face. With no e-commerce, you can't open a bank account in order to properly function in a society. With a bank account, you can rent a property, and I'm talking about outside of Medina. Whatever y'all got going on with those visas and, we could get a place in Medina or Mecca or whatever. I don't know what's going on with that. But I know it's some type of hookup, and it doesn't go for the entire country. Like if you got Iqama, you doing business, for example, in Saudi, you can go live in Jizan in the south. You could go live in, what's that place called? You could go in the north, and I think it's Ara, that's what it's called. You go to Tabuk, you go to Jubail, you go wherever you want. You go wherever you want. But you can't do that when you're on that visa. You're stuck wherever y'all got the hookup at. I don't know. But anyway, it's not none of my business. I don't plan on doing nothing like that. And I'm not coming at nobody who's doing it. I'm just saying, for people to be like, oh no, I could rent a place. I could rent you're in one city. That doesn't go for the entire country. Or some people maybe don't see anything but Medina and Mecca. Like Saudi is only Medina and Mecca. I don't know. But anyway, just want to let you know, the country is huge. There's many, many cities. And you without Iqama, you're not going around Saudi Arabia and can live in wherever you want. You're restricted if you don't have Iqama. That's all I'm saying. All right. Let me go back. Hold up. Business licenses are extremely expensive for the average person. It's easy for the rich person, of course. Saudi made it easy. It's like 100,000 riyals per year for the temporary one. I think it's every 2 years or every year you got to renew it. I don't know. I forgot. And then it's the permanent one, and I think that's like $250,000. Like you can, you just got permanent residency. So yeah, it's expensive. The licenses are expensive. I don't blame them. They trying to get the best of the best in the country, corporations or big businesses that are coming to develop the country and add to the economy. I'm not mad at them. It'll get easier later, but for now, Saudi's trying to build themselves up. All right, so they put, this is for me. They put ghee in everything. I can't eat nothing. Ghee is clarified butter. I can't eat anything because Saudi loves ghee, yogurt. They slather it on everything, so I don't eat at restaurants. I don't eat at people's houses. The Saudis, I don't eat nowhere. I just have to make my own food, and yeah, that's pretty much, and eat some vegetables and fruit. That's about it. Otherwise, I'll probably, be in the hospital or or severely critically ill somewhere. All right, so cons is the last one. Your kids. If you go to Saudi and you stay there for a long period of time and you plan on just spending the rest of your life there and you have children who grew up there or you took teenagers there and you don't have anything for them, they're going to get bored and they're going to get frustrated. And I've heard stories of people from different nationalities, whether they be French, American, or whatever, kids are running away, going back to the West, to their family members, sneaking behind their parents' back to get out because, oh, for many reasons. It's not just because they're stuck, but many reasons. Many extreme behaviors, parents being extreme, so the kids want to run away and get away from that and have a normal life. So you have that situation, you'll have Ikama for them, they're going to get bored and they're going to be stifled and feel stuck, and you're going to see them go through depression. You have to have something for teenagers. Or they will get into trouble, because there's trouble in every country. They will get into trouble in an act of rebellion or go into severe depression. So you got to think about that. Think about your children. And Saudi can't be the final destination, especially if you don't plan on actually getting into the society or doing anything there. That can't be the final destination if you have children and you don't plan on doing nothing. You got to think about them. Or you'll see. You'll see what happens later. All right, let's move on to Kuwait. So we were supposed to go to Kuwait after I left Saudi, get a business license there. I did all the research and everything like that. My ex-husband went to go work, to teach English, and he was supposed to be scoping out the business or whatever. I did a lot of research, found out about the commerce of the Center of Commerce for Kuwait for doing business. The license was pretty cheap, but you actually need a Kuwaiti. To open up a license and do business there. It's possible, but you just need a Kuwaiti. So the pros are living with the Muslims, of course. Quran, you can learn Quran and Arabic easily. It's an Arab Muslim country on top of that. So that's going to be for all of them. That's going to be a common theme that you hear me say. You learn Arabic and Quran. Masajid everywhere. There's Arab everywhere. You have Arabic teachers that reside in the country, so you can get them as a tutor, or whatever. I mean, you can learn Arabic if you want to. You can do business, but through a Kuwaiti, I mentioned that. You can work in Kuwait in different fields that suit your profession. You can learn your religion with some clear students there if you have the language. All right, so the cons. You have to know the Shiite from the Sunni, because it's a nice amount of Shiite there. You'll know them by their names. Ali, a lot of Fatimas, anybody, Hassan, Hussein. And that's sad because these are noble names, but however, they've hijacked them. Unfortunately, you gotta you gotta double check when you hear those names. Hassan, Hussein, Mahdi, any names like that, you gotta find out, if they Shiite. Be careful. You can only own a property for 20 years in Kuwait, and then you gotta sell it as a foreigner. You can't permanently own it, unless, of course, you marry a Kuwaiti. That's different. And I think that's for the women. The men don't get permanent residency, or I think you get permanent residency, but you won't ever get citizenship if you marry a Kuwaiti woman. All right? It's extremely hot. It's hotter than Saudi and hotter than the UAE in the summertime in Kuwait. Burn you. Super hot. Super, super hot. And this from the Kuwaitis, as well as, of course, some Americans that's there. If you want to teach English in the general international schools, GARS International School is an exception because there's majority Salafiyin there in GARS. So that's not what I'm talking about. For those who want to say, no, GARS is different. It's a lot of stuff in my school I was at. blah blah blah. No, that's not what I'm talking. We know. We know, mashallah, they hire Salafis. No, I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about them. But the majority of those international schools, they try to imitate America too much, celebrating Halloween, celebrating all sorts of stuff. And the kids are bratty, and some of them will try to threaten you or set you up because their parents are filthy rich or they have some position or whatever. So they'll be brats, snobbish, you know. For those who worried about me, you see some people walking down there, sisters that walk outside as well. So that's why I'm not alarmed or worried. I'm safe. And all I gotta do is yell out, Ilhaq alay, Ilhaq alay, ya nas. That's all I gotta do. Inshallah. Harami, whatever. Whatever I gotta say, inshallah, the minute they'll come. Or I just scream real loud, but ain't nothing. And I could defend myself, even though I can't necessarily be the man. But they'll definitely be surprised if I start swinging these hammers. They would definitely be surprised and probably run. So, anyways, I'm okay for all the brothers that keep saying, "Be careful, sister. Walking in the dark streets." I'm fine. It's safe. Mashallah, well lit. People are awake. I'm cool. It's all right. Um, it's expensive in Kuwait. My ex-husband rented a studio apartment for 700 US dollars. No, it wasn't a studio, it was a room. He rented a room. It was 200 Kuwaiti dinar, which was 700 and something US dollars, like 738 US dollars. It was for a room, wasn't even a full apartment. So it's expensive. It's expensive. What's the other thing? Well, it's like that in Dubai too, to be honest. It's like that in Dubai. Um, let's move on to Jordan. I've been to Jordan before. I didn't live there, but I've been there. So Jordan, the pros of Jordan, and anyone, like I said, please leave your commentary, add to the list what you know to benefit the people. The pros are, of course, you'll be with the Muslims. You can learn Arabic and Quran easily. You can get private teachers if you want to. You can learn Fusha, learn the local dialect. You can work if you find a job and speak the language, or you find a job where English is required. Okay, so you have to look into jobs if that's somewhere that you like to be, and then you can get sponsored and get a visa through the job. The cons: rent can be expensive in Jordan. It's difficult to get iqama on your own. Like if you just go in, I just want to go to move to Jordan. No, you have to be there doing something. You will have to find out about business. You just have to do your research on why should you go to Jordan. All right. It's not a lot of Islamic classes from those who are clear of any fitna regarding minhaj. Not a lot of classes from those who are clearly upon the minhaj of Salafi. People have, they fell into different fitnas. So, you know, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. So don't come in my comment section trying to argue with me about minhaj and all that stuff. Please don't. I'm not. Go argue with the brothers. Don't try to fight with me. I could defend myself, but don't try to fight with me, okay? I'm not, because that's not what this is for. There's plenty of places where you could go and fight it out and hash it out with the brothers and whoever else you want to scowl out with. I'm not, I don't feel like it. I just don't. You have to go out every 3 months to renew your tourist visa. That's Jordan. All right, so that's the cons for Jordan. Anyone else can add to that. Malaysia. Never been to Malaysia, but I know people who have been to Malaysia. And some of y'all were watching that Make Hijrah channel, and y'all learned some things as well. So y'all correct me, add to it, whatever. Correct me, it doesn't matter. Pros. Of course, it's a Muslim country. You can learn the Quran. You can live well, right? Eat good food. The people are friendly, very nice people from what I heard, Malaysia. I know sisters here that sent their children to school there, to university. And there's someone else who comments on the channel. He said he went to university in Malaysia as well. So, brother, if you're watching, you can go ahead and add some things just as your experience as a student, mixing with the people in the society while you were going to school. You could do business there, of course. Business is the way to go in any country, but you really have to have a strong why besides, oh, okay, it's a Muslim country, but you got to think of everything. Like, what do you want to learn a local language? All of that stuff. And of course, you can work there. Got to find, you know, which is suitable to work in according to your field. Cons. Islamic classes and Jumu'ah khutbah are in the local language unless you learn it, or unless there's an Arab imam, whereas though the khutbah is in Arabi, like in America, there's certain masajid, the masjid, because it's Arab, the khutbah is in Arabic, and they may translate it for you because they know the majority of the attendees are Arab. So, yeah, the only other way you could get the khutbah in Arabic, and that's if you're Arabic. If you're not an Arabic language speaker, you just don't get any benefit from Jumu'ah other than the reward for going. All right. So you have to take that in consideration. What do you want? Think about all of that stuff. All right. So that's the only cons that I know of. I think you can't get a visa, just a long term tourist visa. Yeah. So moving on to Indonesia, same. You live with the Muslims. You can learn Arabic and you can learn the Quran. Now, I say you can learn Arabic because there's Yemeni community there. You have many Indonesians who have graduated from the University of Medina. They've gone to Yemen. They study. They're Tulab, so they know the language. You can study with them. They teach you Nahu. Very excellent teachers from what I heard, right? So you can get the lugha with them or with the Arab. Good food. I love Indonesian food. One of my favorite cuisines. And the people are very friendly. Cons. Islamic classes, again. And Jumu'ah is going to be in the local language. Unless it's an Arab imam. Or unless you learn their local language. In Indonesia, I think there may be a few. It's not just like one. All right? And Allah knows best. And someone can correct me and add to it. I'm not that familiar, detailedly familiar with these countries. So this is just reasons why these are the things that I ticked off. Like, yeah, I checked off. No, yeah, these are the pros, and the cons for me will be this. So this is personal, but you're welcome to share yours and add to it. Moving on to Mauritania. You can learn the Arabic language, of course, an Arab country, Sha'ab Arabiya. And of course, they speak French too. Memorize the Quran easily and fast. They're some of the fastest Quran memorizers. They have a methodology of memorizing the Quran that's, mashallah, is excellent. They're known for it. You can learn poetry. They're very excellent and proficient in poetry, Arabic poetry, right? These are the pros. They just found oil a few years back and they started exporting it, from my understanding. So it's going to better the economy if the government does, if they put the money inside of the country. So, it's going to slowly start to come up. Africa, period, is coming up. But again, you have to have a strong why of why you're going there. Have a goal, complete it, and move on. Or if you want to marry the people, it's up to you. It's really up to you as an individual, where you want to go, what you want to do, who you want to be with, all of that stuff. Have a strong why, and don't let people, sway you. If that's what you want to do it. Stand on it. Make the best out of it. You got Arab living there from the Gulf countries as well, from the Yemenis. You got the Arab, they go and live in other Arab countries. They have communities there, mashallah. And from my understanding, it's easy to get in Iqama, and it's easy to do business for whatever, get a business license. Africa is pretty easy. All right, so now for all of the North African Arab countries, this is a general pros. You're with the Muslims again, right? You can get Arabic and Quran for North Africa, which is Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt. Let me know if I forgot one. You can get the Arabic language, all right? And you're going to get the Quran. The cons Mind you, this is general, because no, I haven't lived in these places other besides Egypt. There's no way in the world I can go through detailed pros by not having the experience. So, any of you are living in these countries, add to the conversation and any information you might know about how to come there and why people should come or they should give it a try. So, the cons, there are countless groups of innovation who are influential in the society, from the Ashariya, the Sufiya, Qutubiyya sets, Khawarij. All right, all in North Africa. And Ikhwaniyya for Egypt. General for West African countries is that the general pros for West African countries is that it's good for building a business. You with the Muslims, you know. Um, you can build a business from scratch. You memorize the Quran. But the pros are what? They on Sufiya. It's Sufiya and magic and all of that is all throughout West Africa. It's bad. It's bad. So, those are things, and a lot of corruption, a lot of bribery going on. So those are things you gotta look out for. You're not getting any Arabic anywhere unless you go into an Arabic community. That's how you'll save yourself if you're somebody who wants to learn Arabic. You gotta go with it out of themselves. All right, if they're present. Lastly, UAE. Gotta give you the pros and the cons. Of course, it's gonna be basic because this whole channel is about the UAE and experiences here. So anybody wanna get a more detailed understanding of the UAE and the benefits, you gotta go through my videos and hear me talk about it in different aspects, from different aspects. 'Cause this is the place that I chose. So the pros for living in UAE, general pros. Of course, you're living with the Muslims. You can practice your religion with ease. The people of innovation are subdued. Ease of doing business. You can work. You get a job anywhere you want to, if you have the skills, if you have the credentials, the experience. You can learn Arabic and Quran easily because there are countless Arab here in masajid as well as Quran centers, and there are also initiatives to teach the people Arabic as well. Free initiatives to teach the people Arabic. Allocated by the government, complimentary of the UAE government, as well as business as well. It's different initiatives that they have set up to help the people. Allah yahfidhuhum kulluhum. You can get your university education here after primary and secondary school. Endless opportunities to grow financially without a language barrier for those who are English speakers and you just want to be in a Muslim country. You don't have time to learn the Arabic language to be able to function and get into society. UAE is where it's at. You can come in and do that. A melting pot of nationalities with endless networking and partnering opportunities. There is free range to add to the industry sector, to build the industry here. Whatever you want to bring it. Whatever you want to add to it. Modify it, update it. It's here for you. This is a country for people who are business oriented, to be honest. You come here, you may want to work to see how things go. Even if you take a low salary, you see how things go and then branch off and do your own business. The thing that's harming Westerners is because they trained us because they're developed nations and their jobs readily available. They basically groomed us and raised us to basically run the corporate world as workers. So many people just want to work, get a check, and survive, and don't have to worry about nothing and collect a pension. But the old world or the developing world is not like that. These are hustlers. These are hustlers, okay? They build things from the ground. They get it from the muscle. They get it out the dirt, out the mud. So you have to eventually adopt that mindset. You have to do some level of independency when you come over here. And you can't complain like, oh, the salaries are too low, and comparing it to what you had. You got to sacrifice something. Can't compare to what you had back in the West. That is a developed country. Industry is present. Corporate is present. Corporate mainland jobs are present. Okay? You gotta sacrifice something. You gotta look at the bigger picture. And oh, ease of getting a comma and renewing it, and so many other benefits. You just gotta watch the channel, and keep up with the channel, and then you'll learn more about the UAE. So I'm not gonna go on and on and on about UAE is da. I love it. If you watch my channel, I love it. I love being here. I love the Arab. This where I'm at. This is my home, and by the permission of Allah, I will not leave here unless I'm physically removed. Like somebody picked me up, dragged me with me scraping my nails off the ground while I'm scraping the ground. Like, you have to drag me out of here to get me out this country. I'm not going anywhere unless it's for a vacation. But I won't be leaving willingly or my own, with my own decision. Cons of the UAE is too many doggone scams. Too many scams. Bunch of damn scammers in here. Stuck for the law. And they are merciless. They will scam you out of your whole entire life savings.